20th of February, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
And the whole writing has to be in front of you before you start. Aval b'di'eved in hashmish hasofer b'emsa tevos. But b'di'eved, if the sofer is finishing the writing as you're reading it, afiyu achi dia klasum kroyal peh. And even if you have to read some pieces by heart as he's writing it, is that what you're saying? You're yotza.
Give me 1 second. Hishmid, actually, I think he left out some tables in the middle. He left out some words in the middle of the Megillah.
Okay. Oh, so so you're saying the Megillah is really puzzled at this point because it's missing words.
Well, yeah, let's put it this way: it's not lichatchila whether it's puzzle, because the question is, can you make a bracha? Can you make a bracha on a Megillah that doesn't have all the words, right? So I think there'll be some details mentioned about this as we get further on in these halachas.
Okay, so we go from there. Aval im hishmish techilas asofo, if it's missing the beginning of the end.
Yes, it's missing the beginning of the end.
I feel meuta even of a little bit. Lo yatsa, I feel be'emsa. You're not yatsa even reading the middle of it. V'dafka de lo hishmish inyan shalem. Hishmit inyan shalom, and certainly.
But he was left out. Hishmid is left out specifically that he did not leave out a Inyan Shalom, again, a whole topic. Sometimes it was just a one pasuk, but let's say he left out the whole topic about Esther being taken into the Beis Hamelech, and all of a sudden you're just reading about she's there in front of the king. So you didn't read about the whole way she got there, and 6 months of this, 6 months of that, right? So that's you left out a large segment of the story. So you don't want to leave out a large segment of the story.
All right, well, let's see how the Mishnah Berura is explaining it, because I'm still a little confused. The Mishnah Berura?
Yeah.
So you have to read the whole thing. Huli kuvetz ma'akev, v'das rav poskim, and according to most poskim, shafil im hiser mimenu rak teva achas lo yotze. Even if it's missing one letter, it's going to be puzzle. You're not yotze with the reading.
Not yotze with the reading, right? So I mean, based on this, we have to understand, well, what's the b'di'eved? I mean, if you're not yotze, there's not. He's yotze b'di'eved. I know here he says he's not yotze. Because there's no yotze. If he's not yotze, there's not yotze b'di'eved. You're not yotze.
Okay, that's my question exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We're together on that. Okay. Good.
Mitoch haksav, you have to read it from the writing. Misbar b'shem
B'shas.
B'shas. Oh, it's explained. Gafil korei kol pasuk b'Megillah ela shol hayisa Megillah kashera. You read the whole thing from the Megillah, but it's not a kosher Megillah. Nami mikre bal peh v'lo yotza. That's also considered bal peh, and you're not yotza.
Right.
It's searched to hey ksuva, and it has to be written. Rotzler wants to say, Demasha amru lo yotza. When we say you're not yotza, hainu im kara bal peh as kol ha-Megillah aruba. That's if you read all of the Megillah Baal Peh or most of it. Aval im kara mixas keshera di'eved. If you only read a small part of it Baal Peh, then b'di'eved you're yotze.
So he's sort of addressing our question right now, right?
But feeling haysa sibas kriyas Baal Peh, and even if the reading was Baal Peh mipnei shasofer hashmit ba ezet tovos emsa, because the sofer left out some letters in the middle of the reading ad chetshia up until half of the Megillah. The huchrach hakori l'kro Baal Peh, And the Balkari therefore goes ahead and reads it Baal Peh because he knows what the words are supposed to be.
He's forced to read it Puppet.
Okay.
Has no choice with it.
Okay. Af she lechatchila eno nachon likro b'megillah shechasra tevos. Even lechatchila, it's not. You shouldn't. It's not correct to read a Megillah that's missing letters. Mikol makom b'diavad yotza, but b'diavad it would work. You would be yotze.
Right. So the question is, Dash. We said previously in Sifkat Nehei, Dash Rova Poskim Fili Chisa B'menu Rak Tevechas Lo Yotzi. So here, I guess we're relying on the minority opinions, right? Because I guess why? Because it's the Rabbanan, it's a din in the Rabbanan, right? And again, if he has no other Megillah, this is take a look what he says here. Look at the in Sifkat and Chet, Avu B'diavad. Go ahead.
Avu B'diavad, but B'diavad, the main law Megillah Acheres, he does not have another Megillah. He could read from this one that's missing letters.
Right. So I guess he's going to be Yotzi B'diavad, even though it's the Kuva, meaning Rov post. How do we understand this? Rov posting, the Mr. Burr says, if it's missing even one letter, it's the Kuva. He's not Yotzi. That's Rov posting. Rov's posting. But then if he has no other Megillah, and even if it's missing up until half of the words, if that's the only thing that he has there, then I guess B'diavad, the Mr. Burr is passing here that he would be Yotzi. He has no choice.
Let me ask the obvious question at this point. If I've got a Megillah that's missing letters, right, a cloth that's missing letters,
right,
a book that has a correct Megillah in it, but it's obviously not due on parchment, but it's complete.
Right.
Which is the better one to read from?
Right. You have this question with the Haftorah. Haftorah should be on a cloth, right? But if you don't, a lot of places don't have cloth for all this drawing for Haftorah. So they read from some can even read from a chumash with Haftorah. There are levels of what you should try and find. The whole Tanakh together, Sefer Haftorah and things like this, right?
But the rules for Torah are not as strict as the rules for reading Megillah.
Right. No, here it has to be in a Ageris. See, it has to be specifically in a Ageris. It has to be, like a letter, which means from a scroll, right? So, we had. Right. Right. Okay. We'll have to see if that's discussed. Whether you have a choice between Megillah, which is chaser, and like a chumash or sefer, which is shalom. Okay. We don't know at this point. We don't know.
Okay. I feel like even if up until half the letters are missing, up till and including half. And you have to worry about if that is kosher b'diavad, so yesh l'inyan. I guess it's a question whether it's kosher b'diavad. Aval im hishmit, but if it's missing, the b'zeh nira the Sefer Chasa, the Sefer is missing. Much Ainkain Benishmat Bo Pasuk Be'emsa, which is not when it's missing I'm not quite sure what he's saying here.
Okay, so now the Ramah added it was Hishmit Techila, or the beginning or the end. Lo Yotzi. Then in that case you're not Yotzi. So he says the bezen near Sefer Chosser, meaning if it's missing something at the beginning part of the Megillah, or it's missing something at the end of the Megillah. So now it looks like it's a Sefer. It seems as if you can see that it's a Sefer which is lacking.
But if it's missing,
incomplete.
we wouldn't necessarily notice it. Gotcha.
Right. Here it's much more. I don't know if it's visible or it's apparent. Like you're starting up in you're starting up in the middle of something, not starting up at the beginning of the story, or there's no end to the story. So therefore, it appears that if the sefer is more closer than if it was just something in the middle, even up to half. We saw even up to half would be okay. Any of it.
Mashain Kane Benishvat Bo Pasuk Benza, which is not the case when it's missing a pasuk in the middle. Eno Ela B'Sefer Shalom Sheyesh Bo Tos. That's only looks like a complete sefer that has some mistakes in it. Jay Megdakin B'Megillah B'Zeh. We're not megdatic about that. Calls them on Shatos Enum Beruba Shel Megillah, as long as the mistakes are not most of the Megillah. Hayel V'Nikra Igeres, because it's called a letter.
So this might be the answer to your question, right? Since it's even if it's missing almost up to, if it's still written and even just 49% was left out, but still it's considered to be an Igeres. So that might be the answer to your question you just asked.
I guess people make mistakes in Igereses, and that's why you can get away with it.
Would be. It's like, yeah, it's an Igeres is something. I mean, the word to us seems to be a little bit more informal than a sefer. It's not called a sefer.
Right.
Sefer is a formal type of a publication. Igeres is much more informal. Yes, that might fit the definition of an Igeres.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good Aleph, afilu meuta, even a little bit of it. The efsha afilu b'chaser rak pasuk rishon o akron, even if it's missing the first pasuk and the last pasuk. Nami adin came. The din would also be like this, which is
the more said he's not yod. If even a mute at the beginning of the end would possible it, he would not matter it to be possible even a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end.
Okay, dafka lo hishmit inyan shalem. It's not that's missing a whole inyan. The hishmit inyan shalem near a sefer chaser, but it's missing a whole section, and it's really like a sefer that's missing something.
Right. Sure. Right.
Wait a second, if somebody else wants to take over.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we're in Dalit, and we're in the Dalit of the Machaber. Mary, you'd like to read from Dalit?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Sure.
About the term Igeret.
Right.
Because I know that the Ramban wrote an Igeret to his son, and it was instructions on how to behave, I think.
Right.
And we're calling the Megillah an Igeret. I mean, maybe because we take things away from it. Esther's an example of I guess how to behave, maybe, or Mordecai, maybe. Maybe that's the answer.
Could be. It's still you have more things included in it. It's not just a yeah. You could see a lot of examples of what you need to do.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe that's the answer. Okay, so we're up to Dalit now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Mito face biado megillah she'ena kshera. Lo yikra im shaliach tzibor ela shomea v'shotek. So what one Toface is published, isn't it?
Literally, that's diffus. You're thinking of the word diffus.
Oh,
This is Toface Shnaim. This is that he's holding. One who's holding in his hands. One's holding in his hands a Megillah, which is not kosher.
Oh, not kosher. Okay. So he can't read it as the Shliach Tzibor. Ella Shomea v'shotek. But one can listen to it?
Yeah, rather, what should he do? Rather listen v'shozik and be quiet. Just don't say anything. Just listen and be quiet.
Okay. Then the Haggah goes on. V'chein lo yisaya shum adam al peh l'chazan v'lachein ota ha'pesukim shekorin hakahal. Tzarich hachazan lachzor v'likrotam mitoch Megillah k'sheira. Oh. So what's Yisaya?
That they're assisting, right? They're assisting. No person should assist the reader.
Oh. Because the Alpet Hazan?
Right. Don't. No one should assist the reading of the chazan.
Oh, okay. And therefore, Otan HaPesukim Shekorin HaKahal. And therefore, the Pesukim that are read by the congregation.
Right. There are certain psukim which everyone reads out loud, right?
Oh, right.
So therefore, this is an instruction to the Shliach Tzibor, the Chazan. Therefore, the Chazan, when the Tzibor gets to those psukim that everyone's reading out loud, he should go back and reread them. So make sure everybody hears them.
Tzarich HaChazan lachzor v'likrotan mitoch Megillah k'sheira. Okay, so he has to go back, like you said.
Right.
Okay, so let's see the Mishna Berura.
Good.
It says Lo Yikra v'chule. Let's see. Deshema yitena shomea libo lazeh hakorei v'lo lashliach tzibor. So what perhaps the listeners know it by heart?
That right. The Shema Yitein Shmei Libor L'Zeh HaKoreh V'lo L'Shliach Tzibor. The person may be listening to this instead of listening to the Shliach Tzibor.
Oh, okay. I hear. Okay, ulefi ta'am zeh, im korei rach l'adam echad, rashai likrot im hakorei mitoch Megillah pesula or mitoch chumash. Oh, that's what Eliezer was talking about. Okay.
So again, therefore, the times according to this reason, if one person is reading simply for one other person, one's reading and one's listening, right? And it's not a tzibor. So therefore, if one's reading for another person, that other extra person could sit and read from a pasuk or a chumash. Pasuk or a chumash.
Oh, he can, or
You could,
Oh. what if the he can read from a Puzzle Megillah or from a Oh, okay.
right? If he alone is being Yotzi by the shots, if he alone.
Uh-huh. Okay. Aval yesh machmirim bechol gavne lefi shenotein dato v'kriyato ve'eno mashkiach l'mashe omer hashliach tzibor kevan shehu asuk v'kriyata. Okay, so we're strict.
Right there, yeah, there are those who are strict in all cases, even whether it's just one person reading for another person, or whether it's certainly so in a large congregation. Therefore, if a person's going to be reading himself, he's not really paying attention too much to the one who's reading for him. And therefore, he's paying attention more to what's being read by himself from a puzzle Megillah or a Chumash, rather than what's being read for him from a kosher Megillah.
Oh. Okay. I just lost my place. We're at Tet Vav now?
You
Okay.
just finished
Yudalit.
Yudalit. Hold on, Yudalit. We're over Yudalit.
Oh, we're up to Yudalit. Okay. V'chein lo yisaya v'chulei.
Therefore, no person should assist, right? No one person should assist the Shliach Tzibor when he's reading the Megillah.
Okay. Gam kain mitam hana'al. So the reason was given already, or will be?
Yeah, from the reason given above, right? That because you have to hear it directly from the Shliach Tzibor.
Okay. But I am Eliyahu Rabbah Tzadei Gam Bazeh Lahachmir Afilu B'Shekore Lahotzi Yachid.
Right, you should take a look at the Eli Rabbah that he is leaning towards being, in this case, also being machmer, even if he's reading only to be Yotzi one specific person.
Oh, okay. The Shema yitain dato l'mashe korei bal peh biatzmo uvitochach yishtamet mimenu kama tevot shekorei hashliach tzibor.
Right, because if he's not going to pay attention to what the Shliach Tzibor is reading for him, and instead he's going to pay more attention to what he's reading for himself, he's going to be missing many words that he should have to hear from the Shliach Tzibor, and he's going to be lacking them, and it won't be Yotzi, his Kriya, because his reading is from a puzzle Megillah, or from something which is printed, which could be Yotzi with.
Okay. Tet Vav. It's 10:29, but I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Maybe I asked this yesterday, I forgot. Is the reading, should we behave the same way during the reading of the Torah as we do the reading of the Megillah?
In terms of what do you mean?
Well, certainly we have to listen to it.
Right.
Do we have to read each word along with the?
Theoretically, you don't have to read. You don't have to read along. You're listening to Kriyas Torah. That's sufficient. Some people do read along, but it's not a chiyuv to read along. Here you have a key of Kriyas Megillah, but here also you're not obligated to read along, right? You're being Yotzi Shemei Ke'oina, so really your listening you should be Yotzi with your reading, with the Shliach Tzibor's reading, and you don't have to really read along. Some people do, right? And
Yeah.
if they are, that's what we cautioned about that now. They shouldn't read too loud. But Kriyas Torah from a Sefer Torah on Shabbos and Yom Beis and Hay, you're not mechuyev to read along. Neither with the Megillah here either.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
So
you,
let's just
Rabbi.
yeah, thank you. Very good. Thank you. Just make a note. We just have to pick up at Test Vav here on the Mr. Brewer tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Shkoyach. Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good day. See you all tomorrow, Mr. Shem.
Okay. Bye
Okay.
now.
See you at 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 o'clock, Lou. Thank you. Very goodbye.